Welcome back to Network Africa. Reports say social media services have been blocked in Eritrea, with people now sending messages via virtual private network. The reason for the shutdown is unclear, but there are speculations that the government has blocked social media sites to prevent people using them to organize protests that could disrupt Independence Day celebrations scheduled for May 24th. Discontent about the lack of political reform is growing in Eritrea, a one-party state ruled by President Isaias Afwerki since independence in 1993. Communication in Eritrea is strictly controlled by the government. There is no private media, and the internet cannot be accessed via mobile phones. Meanwhile, social media site Facebook says it will introduce new restrictions on users who post live content that violates its policies on hate speech. Among the measures proposed in response to the Christchurch mosque shootings is a one-strike rule, which would immediately stop a user's access to Facebook Live for a set period of time. The move comes ahead of a summit in Paris chaired by France's President Emmanuel Macron and New Zealand's Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern, which will call for steps to eliminate violent extremist content online. Facebook came under criticism in March when graphic footage of the Christchurch attack was widely shared. The Egyptian government says it wants to start running the nation from a new capital in the desert from mid-2020. However, the $58 billion project is struggling to raise funds and needs to overcome other challenges after investors pulled out.
Workers are rushing to build core areas of the new city to replace Cairo, the existing capital on the Nile that has become a traffic-clogged urban sprawl of more than 20 million people. The project, launched in 2015 by Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, a year after he was first elected president, aims to offer a clean and efficient base for the government and finance industry, as well as homes for at least 6.5 million people. But the project, which also seeks to lift an economy dented by political turmoil after 2011, lost a lead investor from the United Arab Emirates and is now being run by the Housing Ministry and the Army's Engineering Authority. There is very strong interest from the political leadership in the project, according to Ahmed Zaki Abdin, a retired general who heads the company building the new city.
We have now completed perhaps over 50% of the project. When we are talking about the project, we're talking about the project with all its components, that is, buildings, roads, facilities, the smart system. All that is related to the project: water, sewage, electricity, roads, gas, natural gas.
But Abdin says the large scale of the work leads to large-scale problems, such as finding enough skilled labor to wire up the smart city and raising about 1 trillion Egyptian pounds in financing over coming years from land sales and other investment.
We're executing a large project with investments of approximately 1 trillion Egyptian pounds, 1,000 billion Egyptian pounds. When completed, that is, of course, when all the stages are completed. Where is the funding coming from? We do not receive a single penny from the state. The state already has its many commitments and financial burdens, so we are not taking money from the state. So where do we get our funding? We get it from the revenue gathered by selling land.
A promotional video depicts a green city running on cashless systems for transport and other services that contrast with Cairo, much of whose elegant 19th and early 20th century architectural heart has fallen into disrepair. The new city, known for now as the new administrative capital, is eventually expected to cover about 700 square kilometers. The first phase, covering about 168 square kilometers, will have ministries, residential neighborhoods, a diplomatic quarter, and a financial district. A large mosque and cathedral, as well as a hotel and conference center, have already been built.
Finally on the program, let's take it to Mali to meet the Las Bravillas do Mali, a most influential world music band you have ever heard of. The group was once considered pioneers for their unique blends of Cuban and African music. Now, half a century later, they're on tour once again.
After 50 years out of the limelight, one of the bands who pioneered mixing Cuban and West African beats is finally back on stage. La Maravilla de Mali came together in the 1960s during the height of the Cold War, when 7 young musicians from Mali were sent to Havana by their government to study music.
The Cuban music began to influence me, so that's how it started. And as someone who teaches and arranges music, I can see the difference that the influence had on us, and the relationship between African and Cuban music. There, I learned how to arrange music and play with Cuban musicians. You learn Mozart, Chopin, Beethoven, and Bach in school, but you learn Cuban music on the streets with the musicians. That is where I learned to arrange music.
Their first record was a huge hit back in Mali, and the band's track Rendezvous chez Fatimata was played across the African continent. But the group disappeared following a coup in Cuba, and the fame they hoped for back home in Mali never came. At a recent show at the Barbican Centre in London, the group received a rapturous welcome, playing from their new record, Africa Mia. While the Malian-Cuban band now features only one of the original band members, Bonkana Mayaga, the group is regenerating interest, especially as the new lineup features one of Africa's best-selling singers, Maury Kante.
I've already made a few tracks using Mandinka music, but with Cuban rhythms, and they worked well. So I wanted to join him, and I believe we've ended up with something really very great.
The group's blending of Cuban and African beats is attracting attention because of the history of Cuban music, which has been influenced by the rhythms and songs brought over by West African slaves. La Maravilla de Mali hopes its new album and the tour it's currently on will help to revive an ensemble forgotten for half a century. The band's story is also being turned into a film.
That's where the curtain falls on Network Africa. Thanks for watching. I am Amarachi Ubani.